All right, so here's the 3.1 homework solutions, the fundamental theorem of calculus part 2. So nothing has changed about our rules for finding antiderivatives. We're just going one step further. So number 1, I use my anti-power rule to find my antiderivative, and then I've got f of b minus f of a. Now, how much arithmetic you show, and if you want to use your calculator, feel free to give the decimal equivalent of this. But what I know then is that I plug in my b value, and then I plug in my a value and subtract f of a, from b. So same thing, number 2, I use my anti-power rule to find my antiderivative. I've got my b value and my a value, so I substitute in, find f of b minus f of a. And again, feel free to use your calculator and give a decimal equivalent or fractional equivalent if you want. So number 3, I rewrite so I can use my anti-power rule. I use my anti-power rule and then rewrite since I know that I'm substituting in, and it's a lot easier to substitute in with regular exponents as opposed to negative exponents. Once again, f of b minus f of a, and this one ends up adding up to 0. Number 4, don't forget we've got to simplify. Anytime we see a monomial dividing a polynomial, we simplify. So I've done that. I find my antiderivative. Now substituting in f of b is going to take a lot longer since I've got a polynomial to substitute it in, minus f of a. And then since this one's involving the natural log, you're going to want to use your calculator. Don't forget about these absolute values as you substitute in though. Just do it yourself, natural log of 1, natural log of 3. If you ask the calculator to do natural log of a negative number, it's going to tell you that there's no solution, that there's a domain issue. So make sure you change those values yourself. Number 5, once again, take the time to rewrite so I can use my anti-power rule. And then when you find your antiderivative, take the time to rewrite without the negative exponents. It makes it a lot easier to work with. F of b minus f of a, and I get my final answer. Sorry, that looks kind of like a 1, 7/8. And if you want to give the decimal equivalent, feel free. Number 11, a polynomial. Use my antiderivative rule. Substitute in f of b minus f of a. If I were you, I would not try and type all of this into your calculator at once. I would go piece by piece. And again, whether you give the decimal or the fraction is up to you. And then one more time as a reminder, we always, when we see this monomial dividing a polynomial, we rewrite, we find our antiderivative, and then I substitute in f of b minus f of a. Again, this one involves a natural log, so you're going to want to use your calculator, and we come up with our answer. Hopefully this has helped. We're actually going to spend a little bit more time on 3.1, and it's going to reappear in 3.2 so that we really get the handle on the fundamental theorem of calculus.